Well, hey everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to the Memorial Day edition of Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for Monday, the 31st of May, 2021. When next we meet on Thursday, it will be June, obviously. So, new month. So, we're kind of in like a transition period. I wonder if I'll pull Degas. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? On the precipice of something new, a new day. Nope, I pulled Isa. Isa's a Norn rune, rune of the static realm or present moment. It signals will contraction. It signals alignment in spirit. Uh, you can use it magically to bring things into focus. Um, but it's the power of the Norns. There's three of them, so it's a powerful rune. You've got Hagalaz, which is the rune of the past, a Norn rune of the past. That's destruction and preparation for change. Then there's East. Well, I should say then there's Nothies, which that Hagalaz is the ninth rune. Nothies is the 10th rune of the Elder Futhark, and that's will, and that's the friction within, the inner friction to manifest. And then and then Isa would be the last one, the 11th rune, and so it would align with also with the master number 11, which is awakening and enlightenment. So basically, we're awakening to our alignment in spirit maybe today. Let's see what our geomancy rune is, though, and then we'll pull our cards and see what we have. Now let's see. We've got a single dot for fire. Where's air? Single for air. 2 for water, and 1 for earth. So that's Pur. Now Pur is, and its complement Puella, are youthful energies. And this is Pur here. Pur, though, is the scattered little boy energy. And so there you're looking at a little more impulse control issues versus Puella, which is the little girl energy. That's more, it's a more positive type of a rune. It sort of means that you're scattered in a lot of directions, but it's not, it's not necessarily a lack of impulse control. It's just this massive curiosity. But on the little boy side of it, on the Pur side, you have a passive influence with water, and everything else is an active influence. So they're very, very active, whereas Puella, the passive influence would be air instead of water. And so the actual change there is within intellect versus emotions. And with the little boy, the emotions are all over the place, and so there's a lack of impulse control. So they're very changeable in that regard. And the idea here is we want to bring all of that into a focus today with Isa and alignment in spirit. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff out of my way. And we'll do a little shuffling. I've done some shuffling already. Last week I kind of played around, well, it was sort of spontaneous with a little bit different spread. And what I did was 3 cards, and then I did one that crossed and maybe caused some, maybe presented some challenges, we'll say. And then the final one is what maybe the outcome might be of all of it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll feel like doing that again today. And you have to evolve in this, I figure if I'm going to pull a 4th card from time to time, and maybe even a 5th, then I might as well just do that and see how it goes. Problem is the longer I do this, then the more apt my screen is to freeze up on me. So that's why I try to keep it around 20-25 minutes at the most, because otherwise it's dicey. You just never know. I might have to do the whole thing over again. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our first 3 cards. We have the 8 of Cups, so walking away from emotions that no longer serve. You've got them in order. I was planting potatoes last night. I still can't get all the dirt out from under my fingernails. I still have to do my corn. I didn't get my corn in yesterday. I have to do that this morning. So anyway, we have an 8 energy. That's, it's a number of materialism. It's also of recognition and leadership, but it's also strength. We can see the cups are all in a row there. So we've gathered them all together. We've taken a look at it, and we've just decided, the road ahead might be challenging, and you see he's kind of going uphill there, and you see the rocks in the way. So there's going to be some challenges, but that's okay because he's emotionally steady enough, to be able to set out onto a new path. And you actually see here, you can see here kind of an opening with the moon sort of angling in between it, but it sort of signifies a new path. But it's going to be difficult possibly, and that's okay. We're not afraid of challenges. Emotionally, we're prepared for it, basically. Let's see what the next card is. Well, as we throw them on the ground, well, it's Monday. It's just what happens. At least my hands aren't vibrating from using a weed eater. I swear to God, if I do run the weed eater, my hands and my arms, they vibrate for hours afterwards. You never want to do a reading after that because my hands won't work at all. So the next card then, we've got the Eight of Cups. Now we have the Ten of Pentacles. Now here we have some we have some more fulfillment, don't we? Now this is legacy, new beginnings. You can see the family has come to see the grandfather. You can see the grandfather here, the patriarch of the family. Hate that word, don't you? But these are Hermetic cards, so there you go. Here's the couple, either the son or daughter has come. You've got a child down below here somewhere. Yeah, right down here on the corner. Right there. And you see the pentacles are arranged in a Kabbalistic fashion in the tree of life, similar to what you see on the High Priestess. You can't really, I mean, she covers them, but it's sort of implied, so you can kind of tell that that's what's there. But here you have 10 Pentacles. This is about completion and new beginnings. This is about possibly passing the legacy onto the family, to the younger people in the family. You see his dogs are right there. But it's coming full circle. It's completing something. It's transition into, you see the archway there. And anytime you see an archway, or you see passage between something, or you're heading off in a new direction, that signals a transition is about to happen. And that's what we see here with the family here. His legacy, his wealth is all going to be ultimately inherited by these people. And here we have some betrayal. Now, whether this interferes with the transition here or whether it's the betrayal, maybe we need to actually put this in the beginning. I think I'm going to do that. So let's start out with this. We see rain behind the heart. We see 3 swords piercing it, 2 behind the other. You see the center one is actually out in front of the other 2. So this signals betrayal. It signals gossip. It signals slander. But this is actually just a card of betrayal. You have some kind of a 3-way thing going on here between people, maybe, where you've got 3 friends or something, or 3 co-workers, and 2 are stabbing the other in the back. That's basically what this is. It impacts then, your desire to walk away, from the nonsense that's happening, so that it does not, affect your legacy or your future. We definitely are going to need another card, though. The poor energy could be part of the 3, where people are just being irresponsible, and things that have happened have hurt you to the point that you've had to reconsider how you feel about things. Being that it's swords piercing the heart, that indicates the air element and communication. So something's been said, something's been done. So your authority has been questioned or threatened or something, and literally it is going to impact your future. And so you have to put it all into perspective so that doesn't happen. You have to have the strength of character and the strength of your own sovereignty, your own individual sovereignty to say, you know what, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't really care. I just need to walk away from it. So see what can oh, well, the decision is what's going to cross you today. The decision that you have to make then to walk away. We'll go ahead and put that underneath the 8. And we'll put the poor above the poor rune. We'll put that above the 3. And this, I think, Issa's going to align with 2. But here we have the 2 of Swords, and she sits with her back to the ocean. Now, the ocean isn't quite calm yet, is it? So emotions are still a factor here. We see the maiden moon, the crescent moon up there in the maiden phase. We see that. She needs to have purity of intention, so she's wearing a white gown. She's also, her eyes are covered by a white wrap around her eyes, a blindfold. She crosses her arms, each holding a sword. So she needs to make a decision. She also needs to make it dispassionately. She needs to leave the emotion out of it. This was difficult, okay? And I really think that what ends up happening is that we end up having to make a decision that we don't want to have to make. It's difficult, but there can't be any emotion into it. The emotion's going to cloud the issue. And that's what happens, I guess, when you're trying to balance intellect with emotion. Emotion can cloud the issue. You need it there. You need to have your intuition. You need to have your empathy. You need to have your compassion. But sometimes boundaries are affected. And so you can't make the decisions you need to make, and which we may need to walk away from something here. And so in order to do this, what's going to be challenging is to be able to do it in a way that's dispassionate, that doesn't allow passion or emotion to creep in. That's why she's sitting away from the ocean. You can see the line of demarcation here. So you've got the ocean here, you've got the sand here, and she's sitting on a stone a seat there, a bench, with her back to the water, her back to emotions. And she just doesn't need that interference when she's trying to make a decision here. But all of this, if it doesn't, see, it's going to affect the legacy. It's going to affect your wealth, your income. So I really think that this could be something that's happening at work. Or if it is a personal situation, then there's got to be some kind of money involved in it. Maybe you had some kind of a deal, with family or friends, maybe, which you don't really want to do because, again, it's difficult to remain dispassionate about the whole experience and to see it, in a more objective fashion. That's the main thing here. So yeah, I can't do these cards today at all. I'm just dropping them everywhere. I'm going to take the 13th one for the outcome. Well, the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, the overall thing is you have to take stock of what you have. And that's what this is. You see the farmer who's gathered up all of his crops. I say this every time. It reminds me of my husband who's out irrigating. I'll see him out there and he's just standing there leaning on the shovel. Thinking, looking to see where the water's going, where do I need to put it now? But in this case, he's looking he's brought in the harvest to see what he's got for the winter for his family. So he's taking stock. He's letting things come to rest. That's what the 7 does. Think the scales. Think the allowing the pans of the scales to come to rest so that you can actually see how it all levels out and how it all balances out. Because here you have an unfair advantage with these people behind knowing what they're doing to you, and you don't necessarily know until you do. Or you start feeling it, right? It's like, I know something's happening here, but I don't know what it is. Well, now you do. Somebody's trying to undermine you, and the thing is if it's at your employment, if you can't get a handle on it, you may have to, you know, walk away. You may have to find another job. You might have to switch to a different department if the business is that big. In other words, if you can't figure out a way to have the truth come out here so that your own reputation is not harmed, because that's the problem here. People can do this behind your back and try to harm your reputation. And if this is indeed at work, and I feel like if this is the outcome, it may in fact be, then somebody may be trying to undermine you at work, and you need to figure that out. If you can't, then leave while you may want to consider leaving to find another job first, obviously, but to go somewhere else where you can keep your reputation intact. Start over again. It might be challenging, you know. You're going to have to do it in a dispassionate way. And that's hard. It's upsetting when you realize that somebody's trying to undermine you and suggest that you're not doing your job as well, or you're the problem when it's really them. You see, it's one of those scenarios. We've all either experienced it or we've seen it happen, and it's not fun at all. You know, you never know. Are they going to believe me over them? I mean, 2 against 1, you know, that kind of thing. It goes through your mind. And so you have to get out of your emotions of it, and you have to come to some kind of dispassionate understanding of what is number one going on, and then what your decision needs to be. And in this case, it appears to be, at least considering the idea of walking away, knowing that you've done all you can do to deal with whatever is going on. But you must protect your legacy. You must do that. That's got to come first. And for that to happen, you're going to have to take stock of what you have. You're going to have to take stock of the entire situation and say, okay, these are the factors involved. And this is what's at stake. All that you've gathered here, as it applies to here. So, funny way to start a Monday, but I think that the poor energy is going to help you, is going to make you aware that this is going to make you feel somewhat scattered. Maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you've just found this out and you don't know what to do, so you're trying to figure it all out. But Isa is going to help you align in spirit so that you can then see things a little more clearly. It's also going to help the process of the 2 of Swords to unfold, where you're more dispassionate. You're getting the emotion or the ego out of it and having spirit inform the whole situation and what your decision needs to be. In other words, see the bigger picture. And this is also talking about seeing the bigger picture. You know, you've built so much. Don't allow some idiot to tear it down, okay? Or a group of idiots to tear it down. So I think that's it. I will write all this stuff down for Thursday, and I'm going to go plant my corn. So you guys have a good day, and again, over the next couple of days, hopefully, if anything like this is happening in your life, hopefully it's not too serious and you don't actually have to walk away from a job. But if you do, well, you're at least going to have looked at the situation as dispassionately as possible to figure out what's the best course of action for you. And if you have a family, you know, if you're a mom or a dad and a family, then or a mom and a mom, or a dad and a dad, whatever your family structure is. In other words, if you're one of the breadwinners of the family, you've got to figure out what you need to do to preserve, you know, the financial security of the family. So anyhow, good luck with that, and again, allow higher self to guide, and I don't know, when you do that, you tend to make pretty good decisions. So anyhow, that's it. So have a wonderful day, and remember those, if you have anyone that you've lost in service to the country, blessings to all of them, blessings to you. That's what Memorial Day is all about, is to remember those who gave their life in service to this country, and particularly remember the Capitol Police officers who, if they did not die, they're suffering still. And so in one sense, they've given up their lives for this country, haven't they? And shame on those in the Senate who chose to ignore that. So it's not who we are. So blessings to all of you, and be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.